Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show that goes beyond those headlines and all that. Brought to you by the Morse Global Finance Podcast team. I'm John, and with me is Tiffany, our resident expert.
Always happy to join you, John.
You know, we get a lot of questions about gold and silver IRAs.
Yeah.
Specifically, we've had some questions comparing Goldco and Augusta precious metals.
Right.
Which is a big decision, choosing a company to trust your retirement savings to. So today, that's what we're going to take a deep dive into.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great area to explore. And, just to kick things off, maybe with a little wow factor,
Okay.
Goldco has helped investors place over $2 billion in precious metals.
$2 billion.
It's not, it's not an insignificant number.
Wow, yeah. That's a lot of gold and silver.
It is. It is. It speaks to their presence in the market.
Okay, so who are these companies?
Yeah.
So we've got Goldco, founded in 2006 by Trevor Gerst, and they've kind of become, a household name, I guess, in the precious metals IRA world.
Yeah, they've been around a while.
Yeah, they have.
So, yeah. And Augusta Precious Metals, established 12 years ago by Isaac Nuriani.
Okay.
And they've been kind of making waves with their emphasis on transparency and education. You know, they're not just about selling you metals.
No.
They want you to really understand the market.
So you can make a good decision.
Exactly.
It's interesting you mentioned Goldco. You know, they've got those celebrity endorsements.
Yeah, that's right.
With Sean Hannity and Chuck Norris.
Ben Stein.
Yeah. Big names. Big names.
Big names.
And Augusta has, Joe Montana, the NFL legend.
The football legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's got to add some weight to the companies as well.
It's interesting. Celebrity endorsements always kind of it's a curious thing.
It's a tactic.
Yeah, they can be persuasive.
Right.
But what really matters is what the companies offer.
Exactly. Yeah. The services.
So let's dive into the services.
Okay. What are we looking at here? What do they offer?
So both Goldco and Augusta are primarily focused on gold and silver IRAs.
Okay.
Which makes sense considering those are the most popular precious metals for retirement investing.
Right.
But they also offer buyback programs.
Okay.
Although they kind of handle it a little differently,
Yeah. So how do they differ in their buyback?
So Goldco will actually buy back your metals directly when you're ready to sell.
Okay.
Whereas Augusta takes more of a guidance-based approach.
Okay.
They'll help you navigate the selling process on the open market.
Okay, so it's more about education than actually doing it for you.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they have kind of those different philosophies at play there.
It is.
And it seems like, knowledge is power here.
Oh, yeah.
They both really seem to want to make sure their customers are educated.
Yeah, especially with something as, potentially complex as precious metals.
Right.
It can get a little complicated.
Right.
So, yeah, it's important to know what you're doing. And they both kind of have different approaches to education. Goldco tends to lean more towards providing you with a ton of resources.
Right.
So, like articles, guides, videos.
Yep.
So you can kind of learn at your own pace.
So for our listeners who are very self-motivated,
Yeah.
they like to do the research.
Exactly.
What about Augusta? How do they approach it?
Augusta puts a lot of emphasis on one-on-one consultations with their expert advisors.
Okay.
And they also offer webinars, workshops, so it's a more interactive learning experience.
So you can kind of pick your poison there.
Yeah.
You can hit the books or you can have somebody walk you through it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
What's interesting to me is both of them seem to really take that security aspect seriously.
Absolutely.
Which is a huge, huge deal when you're talking about your retirement, your nest egg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not something to mess around with.
No.
And both Goldco and Augusta, they use reputable storage facilities that meet all the IRS regulations.
Okay.
So your metals are safe.
So we're talking like Fort Knox level security here.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. You can rest assured that your metals are going to be protected.
Okay, that's reassuring. So they're we've established that they're pretty good companies,
Yeah.
So let's talk about the actual products that they offer.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay. What are we looking at? What do they offer?
Well, both companies offer a variety of gold and silver coins and bars.
Okay.
You got your classics like the American Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf for gold, and for silver you have the American Silver Eagle, the Canadian Silver Maple Leaf.
Right.
The popular ones.
So it's not all just the big names though, right?
No. They have some unique options.
Okay. Like what?
Well, I know Goldco has the Silver First Moon Landing coin.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's pretty neat. And Augusta has some unique offerings, too. They have the 5-ounce Cumberland Gap coin,
Okay.
part of the America the Beautiful series.
Oh, cool.
So it's always interesting to see what kind of special coins are out there.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
not just for collectors, right? There are
Yeah.
investors who like to get these special coins as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So both companies really focus on gold and silver, but is that all?
Well, Goldco also offers platinum and palladium,
Okay.
so it gives you a little more diversification.
Now, Augusta really just focuses on the gold and silver.
Use gold and silver, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what stands out to you so far? Anything piquing your interest yet?
Yeah, both companies seem pretty solid so far.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see how their fees and storage options stack up.
Right, because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, because that can really make a difference, in the
Yeah,
long run.
exactly. Yeah.
So those are some crucial considerations when it comes to investing.
All right. So let's get into those nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So let's talk fees. Because fees can really eat into your returns.
Absolutely. Yeah, fees are a big deal, and that's kind of where things get a little tricky sometimes.
Okay.
But we'll break it down. We'll make
Yeah.
it simple. So we're going to look at account setup fees,
Yay.
annual fees, storage fees, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And we'll compare those side by side for Goldco and Augusta.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready to compare.
All right. So first things first, minimum investment.
Right.
This is a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
With Goldco, you're looking at $25,000 to get started,
Okay.
while Augusta has a higher minimum, $50,000.
Okay. So right off the bat, Augusta's catering to, somebody with a little more capital to invest.
Yeah, could be. But it just depends.
Okay.
Everybody's situation's different. But what about those ongoing fees? How do they compare?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Once you're in, what are you paying every year?
Well, both companies have their own fee structure, and it can be tough to compare apples to apples just by looking at the raw numbers.
Right.
That's why it's essential to look at what we call the effective annual fee rate,
Okay.
which takes into account all the different fees and calculates them as a percentage of your investment.
Okay, so it's a percentage,
Yeah.
not just a flat fee.
Exactly, yeah. So this gives you a much clearer picture of the overall cost, especially over the long term.
Right, because time is money.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck.
So have you crunched the numbers? What's the effective annual fee rate look like?
I have, and it's interesting. So for example, let's say you have a $50,000 investment.
Cool.
With Goldco, you might be looking at an effective annual fee rate of around 1.5%.
Okay.
With Augusta, it could be closer to 1.2%.
So in that scenario, Augusta would be slightly cheaper?
Yeah, more cost effective.
More cost effective, yeah.
Over the long run.
But I'm assuming those percentages can change based on, how much money you have invested.
Absolutely, yeah. As your investment grows, those percentages can go down.
Okay.
But it's always essential to do the math, see what works best for your specific situation.
All right, so we've talked about fees. Let's move on to storage.
Yep.
Because I know security is a huge concern when you're talking about precious metals.
It is. And both companies seem to take security very seriously.
Okay, good.
They both utilize the Delaware Depository,
Okay.
which is known for its top-notch security measures.
So our gold is safe.
Your gold and silver, yes, very safe. It's a facility that's trusted by some of the biggest names in the industry.
All right, so we're talking like Fort Knox level security here.
Yeah, pretty much. You can rest assured that your metals are going to be protected.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But there's also this whole thing about segregated versus non-segregated storage.
Right. It's basically about how your metals are stored within the facility.
Okay.
With segregated storage, your specific bars and coins are kept separate from everyone else's.
Okay.
So you have that extra peace of mind knowing that your holdings are individually identifiable.
So it's like having your own private vault within the vault.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's like a VIP section for your precious metal.
Okay. But I bet it's more expensive, right?
You got it, yeah. Segregated storage does tend to be a bit pricier.
Okay.
Non-segregated storage, on the other hand, is where your metals are stored together with other investors' holdings.
Okay.
So you still have ownership, but they're not individually separated.
Right. So it's a trade-off, right, between
Mhm.
cost and having that like personalized,
Exactly.
knowing exactly which bar is yours.
Yep. It's all about what your priorities are and what you're comfortable with.
Right. Now, what's interesting to me is Augusta also has some other storage locations.
That's right. In addition to Delaware Depository, they have storage options in other major cities,
Oh, like where?
like Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New York.
Okay, so if you're somebody who wants to keep your gold close to home, or you're worried about, some geopolitical risk and you want to have it spread out, Augusta might be a good option there.
Yeah, definitely gives you more flexibility.
So let's talk about customer service.
Okay.
How do these companies stack up when it comes to supporting their clients?
Well, both Goldco and Augusta have excellent reputations for customer service,
Okay, good.
but they each have their own style.
So what can I expect from Goldco? If I call them up, what's it going to be like?
Well, Goldco is all about that personalized one-on-one support.
Okay.
They assign you a dedicated expert
Okay.
who will walk you through the entire process.
So like a personal concierge.
Yeah, pretty much. You can call them up with any questions and they'll be there to guide you.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What about Augusta? What's their style?
Augusta, they take more of a hands-on approach. They really emphasize transparency and education.
Okay.
Their dedicated investment guides aren't just salespeople.
All right.
They're experts who can answer your questions, provide valuable insights, and they also offer a ton of webinars and workshops to keep you informed.
Right. So they're really taking an educational approach.
Exactly. They want to empower you to make the best decision for yourself.
Okay. So they both seem pretty good, but what really matters is results,
True.
right? Are these companies actually delivering on their promises?
Well, both companies have consistently high ratings for customer satisfaction across the board.
Okay, like on those review sites.
Yes, exactly.
Better Business Bureau,
Yeah, BBB, TrustLink, Trustpilot,
Consumer Affairs, Google Reviews.
all big ones, yep.
So they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
Yeah, they're walking the walk. They're getting those good reviews.
What did Consumer Affairs say specifically?
Well, Consumer Affairs actually gave both Goldco and Augusta their highest rating, 5 out of 5 stars.
Wow, okay.
It seems like customers are really happy with the service they're receiving.
Okay, so both companies are doing pretty well in the customer satisfaction department.
They're hitting it out of the park.
I'm sensing a theme here. Both Goldco and Augusta have a lot to offer.
They do, they really do. They both bring something unique to the table.
Yeah.
And it's less about one being better than the other and more about finding the right fit for your individual needs and preferences.
Okay, so let's recap. What are the key takeaways for Goldco?
Okay, so with Goldco, you've got that long-standing reputation,
Right.
a streamlined setup process, a lower minimum investment,
Yeah.
a wide range of educational resources,
Yeah.
and a really solid customer service team.
And on the flip side, what are some potential downsides?
Well, some might find their product selection a bit limited compared to Augusta,
Becky?
and their fee structure, while competitive, might not be the absolute lowest in the market.
Okay, fair enough. What about Augusta? What are their strengths?
Well, Augusta really shines in their commitment to transparency and education. Their dedicated investment guides, interactive webinars, focus on clear pricing, those are definite pluses.
Okay.
And let's not forget those top-notch customer satisfaction ratings.
Right. And what about the drawbacks? Anything we should be aware of?
Well, their higher minimum investment of $50,000 could be a barrier for some investors.
Right.
And while their website is informative, you might need to reach out to them directly for more specific product details.
Okay, so we've laid out all the cards on the table. We've looked at the companies, their services, fees, storage options, customer service, even how they stack up against each other in terms of customer reviews.
We've done a pretty thorough deep dive here.
We have. Now comes the big question. Which company comes out on top? So who wins the gold medal in this precious metal IRA showdown?
Well, like we said at the beginning, there's not always a simple answer, right? It really depends on, what you're looking for as an individual investor.
Right. So it's not about picking a winner. It's about giving our listeners all the info they need to make the best choice for themselves.
Exactly. So if you're looking for a company that's been around a while, has that lower minimum investment, and you like to do your own research, Goldco could be a good fit.
Right. But if you prefer a company that's really hands-on, with those dedicated advisors, and they're all about transparency and education, Augusta Precious Metals might be more your style.
Yeah. And it's important to remember why we're even talking about this in the first place. Why are we considering precious metals for retirement?
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
The $1 million question, or maybe the $2 billion question.
$2 billion, yeah.
Considering Goldco's track record. So, In today's economy, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. Inflation's still a concern. Precious metals, like gold and silver, they can act as a hedge against those risks. Historically, they've held their value pretty well, especially when things get a little rocky.
So it's all about diversifying that portfolio, right?
Right.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Spreading the risk.
Okay. So as we wrap up here, is there anything else our listeners should be thinking about when it comes to precious metals and IRAs?
Yeah, I think it's worth digging a little deeper into this whole inflation hedge idea.
Okay.
We talked about the potential of gold and silver, but take a look at the historical data. See how those prices actually performed during times of high inflation.
Oh, okay. So do a little research on, how gold and silver prices actually moved.
Exactly. Because it's one thing to understand the theory, right?
Right.
But seeing how it actually played out in the past can be really eye-opening.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So there you have it, our deep dive into Goldco and Augusta precious metals. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding of what they offer, how they compare,
Yeah.
and ultimately, helps you decide which one might be the right fit for your retirement goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today on the deep dive. And until next time, happy investing.